everybody, and welcome to another episode of Three Dads and a Console. We know not every dad can stay up to date on the latest and greatest in video game news that you need to know about, so we are here to do it for you. And remember that this show is kid-friendly, so no earmuffs are needed. Now on to the show, I'm one of your hosts. Wobble plays alongside the man in control, Court.
Oh, yeah. I'm not in control.
Who not in control anymore.
What happened to your... Did you hit yourself right above your eye?
Me? You should see the other guy. I was punching my bag with such force and velocity.
He fell.
It came back and hit me, and then I cried.
I'm right.
No, I'm kidding. No, I don't know what it is. It's
a boo boo.
It's becoming. Right.
It's becoming.
That other voice you hear is my hero, Pez.
Ooh, thank you. Hello everyone. I was about to make a lewd joke and I didn't. But
that's what we call character development.
Yep, my arc is taken off.
Season 1, Pez.
Oh, what a trash bag!
Honestly, good night, folks.
Season 1, Pez. What a trash bag!
I have to know for the listeners.
Yes.
Pez house had a poltergeist today, and I need to know why.
Okay. If you are listening to this podcast and it turns off at any point before Waba does his outro, it means my house lost power once again, and I'm not coming back to record this podcast. So, listener, if it is a 5-minute thing, it's my fault.
That's true.
Wake up at 2. Wake up, grab and put on a little makeup.
Wake up, San Francisco.
Oh man, Danny Tanner.
Watch my kiss up by the tail.
Absolute bop. Wake up, San Francisco was. 2 o'clock in the morning. My side fan, I have a table fan that I sleep with, is like, sounds like it's dying, and it wakes my wife and I up. And I'm like, okay, it's whatever. It happens. Okay. What are you doing?
It's because he's now noticing the thing above his eye that's bothering him.
You now gave
I wear this like this all the time. What are you talking about?
Complex.
This is exactly how I wear this. Sorry.
So I say to her, I go, oh yeah, whatever. I'll go sleep downstairs because we have a fan in our we have like a ceiling fan in our living room. So I'm sleeping on the couch. About 3:30 in the morning, I hear someone walking down the stairs. I wake up. It's Kenzie, and I was like, "What are you doing, dude? Go to bed." And she's like, "Oh, my all the lights in my room are off." Like, because she sleeps with like Christmas lights on. She's like, "My room's dead." And I was like, "All right, you know what?" I go, "You know what circuit breaker it is?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "Great, turn it on, turn it back on." Because I taught her how to do it in the summer if her AC trips it. Didn't work. She went back to bed. Get up at 6 o'clock to get ready for work. My living room is still on. The rest of the house is off. I didn't. So like the fan is still on. Like the Roku's lit. Like everything's on. Go in the kitchen. The coffee pot was on. The coffee pot was on, but the lights wouldn't turn on. So I was like, oh, that's weird. Bathroom wouldn't turn on. Dining room wouldn't turn on. I was like, oh my god.
Oh
god. Going through all the switches, I'm writing down everything that the circuit breakers are supposed to take care of, because I obviously didn't do that when I first moved in because I'm a good homeowner. Writing all that stuff down. I turn my kitchen lights on. Do not come on. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I was like, whatever. You know what? I'm hungry. I usually do breakfast every like 6:30 every day. I'm hungry. I'm going to make some eggs. Turn the stove on, turns the lights on. Okay?
This is no joke.
Turn the stove on. This is like National Lampoons.
This is no joke. We've been in this house for 4 years. This is no joke. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. That shouldn't do that. That makes no sense. Turn them off.
The oven is the light switch.
Turn the stove off. Mind you, none of the like range top burners turned on.
But are they gas or are they electric?
It's electric.
Okay, sorry. I have gas, so I never have that issue.
So they didn't turn on.
I like killing each other.
I say to my wife, and I was like, look at this. This is weird. She does it. I say, can you go upstairs? I said, go up in our bedroom and turn the lights on. I'm going to turn the stove on. Let me know if the lights in the bedroom turns on. It does. Right? So I like go
It's a
upstairs
Bluetooth
to
stove.
look, and then all of a sudden, all the lights in the house blink, and it's fine. Like the lights turn on normally, my dining room lights turn on normally, my bathroom lights turn on normally.
Because the magic stove.
The oven, the range top works, like everything's good. About 10:30, I'm sitting here. Electrician's coming at between 2 and 4. I'm sitting here at home working. Same thing happens. Phew, dies. He comes. Basically, what it was nothing to do in the house. It was the main breaker outside. So your meter is, for those that don't know, there are about 2 prongs that kind of look like a plug. That hangs at the bottom of your meter, and usually like a 200 or whatever amp, main circuit amp gets plugged into that. The prongs that went into my circuit were corroded, and they were causing that the main breaker to trip. And
So you're lucky you didn't set your house on fire.
yeah, he was like that
Oh.
he's like that's how houses start. House fires start.
That's scary.
So
I'm still gonna not take back my laugh because it was funny.
No, it was funny because I'm like, this should not happen. Basically, what happened is he's kind of scrubbed the corrosion away, bought a new main breaker, plugged that in. That was good, and I have to get some work done on the outside of the house. But he said, like, for now, it could work for a day, it could work for a year. He's like, but we'll get you the stuff, and yeah. So that was my day. It was lovely.
Did you what'd you end up having for breakfast since nothing was working?
Nothing.
Not even dunks?
No, I did get a coffee, but I didn't get anything to eat.
Well, yeah, you don't want to spike the blood sugar.
No, not this time. That would be on May 8th.
Well, I'm at the rink.
Yeah.
Drinking my hot cocoa.
So yeah. So what a day that I thought was going to be sitting at my desk, playing a little bit of video games. Maybe the guy comes in and is like, oh yeah, you need a new panel. Like we'll put it in June or whatever. Nope. Never happened. I just sat in the quiet. It was horrible. Hated every second of it. Every second
Quiet.
of it.
He sent us a video. He wasn't that quiet. He was messaging us, letting us know how.
I was because like I sent that video that I sent you guys. I sent it to my leadership team, like the rest of the directors at work, because they were like, I was like, I know you guys think I'm lying because no one calls out with a problem like this. Here's the video. And my boss called me. She was like,
So,
that is the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Follow-up question. How mad were your kids that their cell phones didn't charge overnight?
Ooh.
Their lifelines.
Kenzie wasn't as mad because she brings a Chromebook to school. So she can just plug it in and charge it on her Chromebook. Plus I'm going to give her credit. She puts her phone in her locker at the beginning of the day.
Smart kid.
Because she doesn't, because
you did good with that one.
She says, yeah. Well, the first one was a test child, and I failed. She says, she goes, Dad, it's not in the rules, so I'm not going to be on my phone. She's like, if I need anything, I have my Apple Watch, and I can text you. I'm like, damn, you're smart, dude. I never would have thought of that.
Is she really your kid? Maybe she's not your kid.
Maybe she's not my kid. I don't know. She looks like me, so she's in the tree somewhere.
Well, we're glad you made it out without having to, bring your vacuum around in Luigi's mansion that ghost out of your house.
Well, I know you're excited because that means you don't have to do any tech work for this show.
That was my biggest relief. Not that Pez's house was fixed, but that I didn't have to do things.
Anything. Just show
up.
Well,
he still makes fun of me for the one I had to do a few weeks ago where we don't have a thumbnail.
Yeah.
He could make one. He doesn't want to.
I could have. I'm not going to. So that was the best part.
I didn't know. I'm gonna go to ChatGPT and say, "Give me a really."
Oh
good
my
thumbnail.
God! You just go to Canva. It's not hard, dude. Put an image in, fart around a little bit.
Fart around, I can do that.
Bongo.
Yeah. Bingo, bango, bongo.
So you were. So what do we want to talk about first? Do we want to talk about the big closures, or we do want to talk about a little bit of demos? What do you guys think? What do you guys like?
Demos. Oh, Pez played. Well, Pez just did a story, so I guess we could do the closures and then Pez can go back to doing another story again. But I also do want to talk about the Assassin's Creed leaks.
Yes,
I think that's crazy pants. Like, how cursed is the team over at Ubisoft. Now, usually for the listeners, Ubisoft usually Quebec leaks their games on the subway. Now, they play into this, which is very interesting. So a couple of their games have leaked on a subway where someone's like sitting there on the subway and they can see what the person's working on. They leaned into this so much when I visited Ubisoft Quebec to go for the Assassin's Creed Mirage launch party. Their cafeteria is subway cars.
Oh,
Nice.
that's cool.
Nice.
I was like, well done, like leaning into it like it's nobody's business. But this one is crazy. So the rumor is that they think this is how the leaks happen, and the leaks are that the game is released. Not a whole bunch of copies got out there, but there are copies out there, and it's because the game originally was supposed to come out in February, Valentine's Day, February 14th, but it is now moved to March 20th. As most of us know here, the games get sent to the EB Games and mom and pop shops all the time before the game gets released, right? What has probably happened is somebody at a Best Buy got them, they stole them, and they're selling them on the market. Now, I guess the Facebook image was there was a guy, he had like 3 copies he sold for $100. And he leaked some of the images. Now, Ubisoft has gotten ahead of this and said, yeah, you know what? This is all real stuff. I muted the words, but there was a lot of previews for this game, and it's interesting enough. Everybody was joking around. They're like, this game got leaked, and everybody's just finding out how good it is. Because the previews for this game, Assassin's Creed Shadows, are phenomenal so far.
Mm-hmm.
The footage that has been leaked, it's been taken down, but the internet's forever.
Yep.
But from my understanding, speaking to people that have played the game just recently, the footage they see is from when they played it months ago and is not what the state of the game is right now. Because it's not, the patches haven't even been finished yet. The game's obviously gone gold, but it's very interesting that this all happened because they did a physical copy of the game. Now, most games when they release on CD, disc, whatever, that's what it's called.
No, VHS.
There's not much on there. It's pretty much a CD key, but the game is pretty hefty that is on there. And because everybody always complains about the AC games being online requirements, they didn't put an online requirement for this game to hit the servers, and that's how people are able to play it.
Jesus Christ.
Dang.
I did check eBay. There are no copies out in the wild or that have been sold. It's all people selling pre-orders. Not that I mean, they're still out there, but they're actually smart where they're committing a crime and
Is it committed?
No, it's not. But it's a good way to get like, I don't know, they could like pull your account or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? But if you sell it, that would be bad.
I just find this fascinating that this doesn't happen more often. I know when I lived downtown, I had a local video game store that if you were willing to pay in cash so that they had the handwritten receipts, I could get NHL a week before it released every single time.
I offered to do that with Blitz the League too. I was going to give them money to sell to me a day early, and they wouldn't.
Yeah, I had this one store that would always sell me games a day early if they had it. The guy would be like, I don't care.
Oh, I wish.
Yeah, the mom and pop shops will usually do it if you're a good customer.
Yeah, like I knew this guy. I worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car at the time, and our store was like 3 stores down from him. That guy knew us, and I would just walk in. He'd be like, yeah. I walked in one time, and I remember, I think it was the Dion Phaneuf, NHL 07. Was it NHL 07? Yeah. Xbox 360. I remember walking in, and the game wasn't even out for like another 2 weeks. And he's like, it was like a drug deal. He's like, hey, you got $70? I was like, yeah, why? He's like, but in cash? I'm like, no, I can go to the bank. He's like, I go to the bank then. I'm like, are you telling me what I think you're telling me? He's like, NHL? I'm like, oh,
couldn't do that these days.
Ran to the bank.
Nice.
Imagine getting it that early these days. No servers are up, nothing to do.
Oh yeah, well, that's like anytime EA sends out this year when I got the review code for the game, they were like, "We're gonna get it to you super duper early," blah blah blah. And I was saying to you guys, like, I got it so early. I had a week before everybody else had it, but I couldn't play the darn thing.
There's nothing to do.
Nothing. Yeah, you can't.
I couldn't do anything. Like
Versus.
nothing.
Do anything.
It wouldn't even. No, it couldn't even do that. So Waba, I would load up the game. It would ping the servers, and that's it. Nothing would happen.
Franchise mode.
No, you can't.
No, you
I
can't
need.
log in to the game.
You
itself.
can't even get into the game. You can't get past the first screen.
That's crazy.
It would just be like, nope.
Womp womp.
So poor Ubisoft. They're a Canadian. So I kind of hope they do well. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry.
Yeah.
Since a lot of developers, a lot of developers are not doing well lately.
That's right. There are several that are not doing well, and the newest one is actually at Warner Brothers WB Games. They have closed a few studios, and one of the ones is Monolith. And those are the folks that made the LOTR games.
Lord of the Rings,
Yep.
Shadows of Mordor
Mordor.
with the Nemesis system.
Those games were fantastic, and now it is done. There are a few other studios that they closed too. I don't have them on hand. I'll find them while we talk
And they
about
canceled Wonder Woman.
Yep.
Yeah, and they have a trademark on the Nemesis system until 2037.
Jesus Christ! Why would you do that? I didn't know that part.
Man. Yeah. Go Pez.
I was just gonna say, if you have never played the Shadow of Mordor games, you have no idea what we're talking about. The Nemesis system.
The first one is good. The second one's terrible.
Correct.
No, people
I didn't
like
mind
the second one.
I don't care what
First
people
is
say.
obviously better.
But the first one's fantastic. The Nemesis system basically happens, so you're fighting this, like, what are they called, Urix or something, this like tribe of basically ogres. Anytime you kill one of their leaders, this system creates like a new follower of that leader who is then hunting you, and throughout the game they can increase, and this happens for the whole game. And if you never hunt this person down, they could be at the end of the game still trying to hunt you at level whatever. It's awesome. It is an awesome
It's
system.
fantastic.
And I've always wanted a system like that in like the Arkham games. And I know old Rocksteady could probably figure it out, but something like that in Arkham games or just Batman games where you're not just fighting.
A Ninja Turtle game would have worked.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. It's an awesome system. And it's a shame that it's patented until 2037. Because WB has been taking a lot of L's lately.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know what they have on the horizon that's really any good that they'll put out. So man, like, not even unless they license this system out, it's just going to be dead.
They should license it.
And it's not just their games that they're taking L's on; it's their movies too. I get James Gunn is coming in. I'm excited for Superman, and I hope it's okay. But before that, every time they put out a movie, they were bad. And I don't care, you Zack Snyder people, you can come into our comments. Those movies stink.
Black Adam was dope.
Stink. Ben Affleck, stop it, Waba. It was not good. The Rock is not a good actor. Let it go.
What? That's weird.
Ben Affleck is a terrible Batman. The Flash was not a good movie. They even brought me Michael Keaton back, and I was still like, this movie ain't good. Man, it's tough, and it's unreal. It's unfortunate because the Matt Reeves Batman, they've officially said it's not going to be part of this new DCU. So I'm going to probably get one more movie and then never again, which kind of pisses me right off, considering I thought that was a fantastic portrayal of Batman, and the Penguin TV series is fantastic. But that just goes to show you the WB doesn't know their heads from their asses. Whoopsies. They're bums.
He's up at donkeys.
Over and over again. It just, I don't understand the amount of times they can just shoot themselves in the foot, and they have such good franchises. Like, they have Harry Potter, and if it wasn't for Hogwarts Legacy, they'd still be making terrible games. What pisses me off is I wish Hogwarts Legacy would have came out after like the last Batman game, and then they never would have made Suicide Squad. They just would have kept making, because they had that Batman Beyond game that they canceled.
Yeah.
They had a Superman game that they canceled, and they had that Batman by Gaslight that they canceled. Oh man, and now they're going back to the Arkham, and it's like you should never have left.
Right.
It's like, imagine Nintendo was like, you know what? We're not going to make another Mario game. Are you crazy?
We're gonna make
Right.
a Luigi game.
Yeah, we're gonna put the legacy or the Nemesis system in Mario.
But it
Some
boggles my
Goombas.
mind as a DC fan
Here's my father.
to not have a good Batman game.
Right.
And the last Batman game I got was the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, and that game stinks. Game stinks. Okay? And before that, it was Lego Villains. And then I had the Gotham game that
Oh, Gotham
we all
Knights.
know. Oh my god.
Oh, that's right.
Not even made by Rocksteady, and looked real bad. And I was in a Gotham that had nobody in it. It was really weird. Had no NPCs. Like, that game was woof. So many missteps. They had a franchise in Arkham Asylum that was unbelievable. Like, if you want to win right now, WB, just remaster Arkham Asylum from the ground up. Put it back out. All the DLC in it. We will all go buy it. We will all go buy it right away.
Easy dub.
I don't understand. I don't understand. How can you screw up this much?
And now that they're closing, like a studio that people, that's what I don't understand. I understand that it's like from a resource perspective, but like, why are you getting rid of one of your top performers? Actually, companies do this all the time. What am I talking about?
Yeah,
Like they get rid of, like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe it does make sense, but like everyone loves those games, and I know you said like two, but like, you know,
they must not have
overall,
answered the email of what they do here.
overall, people really like the Middle Earth games a lot, and I think it sounds like it's probably because they were working on Wonder Woman, which I don't know if there's a lot of interest for it. So instead of just stopping the game, they shut down the studio, which to me is a wild way to recoup your losses. Why not just take the hit? You'll get probably like a tax break for it, and then you can have them work on something good.
Well, why weren't they just working on Lord of the Rings games?
Exactly.
Like, you know, one of the biggest franchises in the world, and then they could have Portkey Games making Harry Potter games, and then the DC side they could just make Batman games, and then find another studio to try and make a Superman. For me, the Wonder Woman game didn't make sense. So, as a DC fan, Wonder Woman is like Superman. Okay, so how do you make a video game about a character that can't die? That is overpowering everybody, that can fly, and for some reason has an invisible jet that they need, even though they can fly.
Also, the movies didn't do great, like the Wonder Woman ones. Like, why would you start to make another medium?
The first one did
Like,
well.
form of
The
entertainment on
second
that.
First one did well.
Yeah,
The second one was terrible.
I didn't even see the second one.
1984.
I mean, again, yeah, I thought the first one was good, but why would you be like, all right, you know what? This is the next thing. We're gonna make this the next thing. Like, there's not a demand for it. Like, why are you making things for things nobody wants?
Right.
And
They're
that's
turning into Marvel.
I mean, that's why when you look at Insomniac, they're like, okay, we'll do Spider-Man and then we'll do Wolverine. It's not like they were like, we'll do Spider-Man and then we'll do, I don't know.
Yeah, but Wolverine is an iconic character.
No, well,
Squirrel
that's what
Girl.
I mean. It's like if you're WB, you do Batman and then Superman. You don't do Batman and then Wonder Woman because it doesn't make sense. It's like doing Spider-Man and then Jubilee.
Like, I want
Jubilee
a Batman
blows.
Beyond game that's in like the animation styles of Into the Spider-Verse.
that's a good point.
That'd be dope.
Or just the Batman Beyond movie in this animation styles of Into the Spider-Verse.
That'd be
please.
dope. That'd be dope. I would love it. Oh,
They also
That just can't. They have, if you look at what Warner Brothers has with regards to IP, and they can't get their heads out of their asses, it's beyond me. Beyond me. They screwed up on the Fantastic Beasts. All this company does is terrible things over and over again.
You know what they don't have a multiverse. because they
That's-
shut down that
That's the
studio.
one.
Well, why do you want it?
So multiverse, people liked it's not going to be a crazy
No, they don't.
success.
Ask
But-
Marvel right now because Marvel stinks. Their movies are terrible.
No, multiverse. No, it's the game.
No, the
Multiverses.
game Multiverse.
Oh,
they shut down
yeah,
the
that game.
studio that made it.
That game sucked.
Well, so there was I would say dedicated community around it. It showed up at Evo. I don't think it was main stage, but still, like, there was a community around it, and I think the fight mechanics were decently solid in terms of like balancing too. Like, there was definitely something there. I probably think it would have done better as I don't know, was it free to play? Or did you have to pay for
I
it?
believe
Probably
to
not.
start, you had to pay for it, and then it may have moved free to play.
I would have honestly started free to play and charged for characters. Like, if I was them, but like it says it underperformed. It saw initial success, which makes sense. And then San Diego did mobile free to play games, which I don't think the US makes those well. If you're but yeah, that's just, it's too bad. And it's like, you make good games, decent games in the case of multiverses, but there you go.
There you go.
It makes no sense to me. I don't understand. It's not like the Boston Bruins season. I understand that. They stink.
They stink.
But when WB has these IPs like Batman, when you think about superheroes and when you can go to actually look at like what sells the most, Spider-Man's number 1. Batman's number 2. Sometimes Batman's number 1. It goes back and forth. But you have like the most iconic superhero of them all. And you're like, you know what we'll do? We won't make a Batman game forever, but we'll make a Batman VR game.
Oh,
Like, what is wrong with you?
which was
I guess
good.
they don't like money. They don't want it. Like, I understand what Marvel did here. Marvel screwed up. They got these characters that were so big in the movies, and then they killed them all. And then everybody was like, well, these new ones that you replace them with suck. And no one cares. And then they saturated it with TV shows that were like, some are good, some are bad.
Mm-hmm.
They blew their load too quick. Is what happened. The pandemic happened and they accelerated everything, and they just put everything into high gear, and it's unfortunate.
Bunch of bojos.
Yeah. Well, I think too, you mentioned the pandemic. I think a lot of people like the different successes, especially with video games, is very unique. So like, you saw like people who were at the end of the development cycle and like the success of some of their games, and people probably thought, oh, if I move in this direction, it's going to do well. Here we are 3-4 years later. It's a different climate for gaming, and you just kind of got to see it through, and you end up with stuff people don't want anymore. Taste change.
Especially Suicide Squad. What a stinking game. I tried so hard to play that game. It's so bad.
So bad.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I don't know. It's not like they have like the X-Men. Like, they have the Suicide Squad. People want an X-Men game. No one wants a Suicide Squad game. Especially
What are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad?
especially a live service semi-open world. Destiny style, Destiny battle pass and grind style, only worse. Yeah, no one wants that. You want to figure out a switch out mechanic or whatever in like a single player, I bet people would play it. Or just make segmented chapters, right? Like that tells a story, and then at some point there's like a choke point into the story where they all come together, and then you have a switch mechanic, maybe. I don't know. Just spitballing.
But in chat, Real Deal J O'Neill says, aren't WB still trying to sell their gaming division?
I'm not sure. I tried to look that up. The last time they were trying to like piecemeal it and almost like sell the IPs. I think what they need to do is they need to do what Disney did. Now they've got a great studio that can do their Harry Potter games, as long as they don't screw up the next Hogwarts, man. Please don't screw that up. But maybe go to other studios and say, hey, can you make me this game?
I said, hey. Can
You know,
make me
here's
this game?
Superman. Make me a Superman game.
Yeah.
You think you can do it? Yeah? All right, make me a Superman game.
I like that idea, especially like now that we hear about the Sony canceled projects. Like, okay, they could work on their own stuff. Or what if WB approached them and said, what you said? We want a Superman game. You made something similar in the past. Let's do it. I like that idea. License. Don't make it yourself. And then
Pay
you, like you said, Pez, license out the Nemesis system.
Oh man, I might install that on the Steam Deck and give it a go. I have to.
Game of Thrones games and the Nemesis system in chat. Love that idea.
Oh,
Also, there was a Game of Thrones game coming out, and I got excited, and then it turns out it was a mobile game. So like,
yeah, the
I'll be
WB
playing
one.
that.
It's the WB one.
Was that it? Wait, was that legit it?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
I
brother.
think their company released it.
I remember seeing that at the whatever conference. I was like, "Hey, this looks pretty cool. I love this, like a story, whatever." And then it's like, only on your phone.
But do you not have phones?
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Everybody has these nice TVs and systems. I want to sit there playing a game with my thumbs. I'm out.
You got games on that phone?
Yeah, if I can play Angry Birds on it, I'm not going to be playing a video game on it. I'm good.
That's right. There you go. Dude, imagine. Hold on. Sorry. Imagine being like imagine playing this game and you get to pick your descendant of one of the major Game of Thrones houses, and then your story is to like, it's, it could be like a tower defense or whatever, but like you're fighting off these other the other houses, and maybe like there's a level where you're fighting off like the White Walkers, and there's like a Nemesis system, and like you slay Ned Stark, and then like all of a sudden his brood is coming after you, dude. That'd be sick. Sorry.
That you should honestly, that's a better idea than whatever they've been putting out for the past.
That'd be dope, dude. And then it's all of a sudden it's like Robb Stark, and then you kill him, and then maybe like in-game years, there's 6 years later, there's like a Bolton Stark that's then coming after you.
Bungus Bolton.
Yeah, Billy and Bungus Bolton.
Oh, those crazy brothers.
Those crazy.
At it again.
Crazy Bungus brothers.
Wait, wasn't Bolton the bad guy?
They're all bad guys.
Yeah, spoilers on a 10-year-old show. How old is it?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Spoilers.
I mean, to be fair, it all happened in the past, so you can just read about Game of Thrones in a history book anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask your teachers that. Pez, you played a demo that you share with the people.
Yeah, so it's Steam.
A little bit about.
It's Steam Next Fest. So I've been getting a lot of emails on different games that are out there. So I took a shot at the Angry Video Game Nerd 8-bit NES game.
Wait, is this the Angry Video Game Nerd that we all grew up with?
This is James Rolfe as the AVGN. As the Angry.
I'm still doing that.
You've never watched Angry Video Game Nerd?
No.
He was a trailblazer in the basically gaming commentary industry.
So like he in the beginning was like one of the really I would say pillars of YouTube. He was like a big YouTuber for the time, and basically, like Waba said, changed how people did video commentary on YouTube. So whoever he sold part of Cinemassacre to, his company, they have a division. I think it's called Screenwave. They have a division called Retroware. So they are the company that's putting out the Toxic Avengers beat 'em up game that I will be reviewing for 3 Dads on a Console, because I'll be getting a code for it.
I used to have those toys.
Dude, the game, it was at PAX last year. We didn't play it, but it looks really good. It is it's Toxic Avenger beat 'em up Ninja Turtle style game.
I'm sorry. So, oh my gosh, I went to sorry to derail. I went to a toy. No, I went to a toy and card collecting show when they had a action figure there, and he had a helmet on, and he had like a little and I picked him up, and they're like, "Oh, do you want that?" It's like whatever. I'm like, no, I used to have this. I haven't seen this in forever, and slowly I've been starting to see Toxic Avenger like toys that I used to have, and I didn't know what they were from, and I don't think my family knew what they were from. They just saw them because everything had a toy back in the day. So the fact that they're making a comeback is really cool. I don't understand anything about them other than I used to play with the action figures. And the fact that you're telling me right now, oh yeah, there's a game coming out soon.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. And a movie happened?
I think
that is some weird, wild stuff.
This is crazy.
I'm sending Waba down this like nostalgia hole.
Winston Goose. Dude, I'm going to have to do some research on my own. But sorry.
So they also put out an Angry Video Game Nerd game. This is like his 4th game, by the way. I played another one at the first PAX I went to, PAX 2019, 2020.
Do you have to play those to understand the story of this one? Or do you have to watch all his YouTube videos?
Yeah, watch all 20 seasons of his AVGN stuff on YouTube. And it's actually really good. So there is also a gimmick behind it. It's going to be an actual NES game cartridge. But it, plays like a Mega Man game almost. Pretty fun. Would I buy it? I don't know. It's kind of hard, just like Mega Man. Yeah, it was good. Nice 8-bit music. Pretty cool little game. Wish it wasn't about the AVGN because I think that's kind of corny. But yeah, not bad.
Did they have any references that I don't want to be like true fans because all his true fans are like us.
Yeah,
like we got like families now. Like it's such a. It's so weird talking about somebody that has a big following, but it's not like what you think of today.
With I don't even know who he is.
It's a point in time. Like, you know how like big creators today, like they'll go around places and people will be like, "Oh my gosh, that's crazy!" Like the demographic that he is are people that prefer to stay home and go to bed at 8:00.
9. I'm getting tired right now. Like
I'm not saying
getting droopy.
So you would be a perfect AVGN fan.
Sleepy boy. But yeah, it was a good little game. I'm excited to play more of it. I'll review it for the channel. I'm gonna review Toxic Avengers for the channel. Working my way through a couple other indie demos that I'll put up on 3dadsconsole.com.
We've got a few new articles there you can check out. So make sure to do that and make sure to be there for Pez's upcoming articles as well.
Yeah, good time.
So the last topic we had was a little bit of a hockey wrap up. The last time we talked, the finals hadn't happened. But
no,
they did
hadn't.
happen.
What happened in the finals?
They canceled it.
Before we interject, I just want to say that when we talked about this last time, I talked about betting. I was right. If you listen to me, you owe me some money.
That's true. Send it to Venmo at
Did you predict like overtime?
No, I said I was talking about the puck line and how Canada was given 2 goals. So the US had to win by 2 goals to win money. And I said, take Canada all day. You guys were giving me garbage about Jordan Binnington. And I said, don't worry, he's won games in that building before. And then Quote was like, no, I hate that argument. And I was like, just bet it. You'll win money. And then Canada won. You would have won money.
I will say this. I was shocked that he played well in that game, considering how bad he had played throughout the tournament.
Oh, he was dreadful in that tournament. I couldn't believe it either. If you asked me right before the game, I said it would have been like a 5-4 game.
Yeah, and it was interesting because a lot of the pundits here in Canada were like, "Oh, Binnington could have got MVP." I'm like, "For what? What was Jordan Binnington getting MVP for? 1 game? What is this guy, Tim Thomas?
Cardio."
And Bruins fans, if you're listening right now, I know you're all gonna like run through your car and smash into a guardrail or whatever, but like Tim Thomas had 1 good year.
Extremely correct take.
Yep.
And 1 unbelievable playoff.
Extremely
based.
But unfortunately, he was just average.
Yeah.
They let him walk because they were like, no, we're good.
Because they had the better goalie.
And to be honest, and this sounds terrible, but like, if he was as good as people make him out to be, he'd be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. His number would be hanging from the rafters at TD Garden. None of those things are ever going to happen.
He's doing card shows in Marlboro these days.
Is he? Oh, man. I'm going to have to go check him out.
I'll let you know.
Amazing goalie. He was a very good goalie. He won the Bruins a cup. And Binnington, in the 3rd period of that hockey game, gave the Team Canada a chance to win. Now, I will say this. I was extremely impressed with how much this tournament destroyed the NBA. You see their numbers.
Yep.
No other sport capitalized that week more than this tournament. NHL.
It was perfect. Nothing was happening. It was perfect.
It was a perfect storm, though. You had everything that was going on between US and Canada, which is still going on. So you have a politically charged country hating another country because that other country is trying to annex that country, and its citizens think that people are booing the anthem because it's against the veterans when they were booing the anthem because they hated your president. But anyways, regardless of why they're doing something, it couldn't have helped more. And I think that actually helped with the ratings
Mm.
because
100%.
everybody in Canada still, right before all this happened, everybody in Canada was like, and I'm doing it. I was supposed to do a family trip to Florida this year. We're not going.
Mm.
We've canceled our trip to Florida. We're going to go to Ottawa. We're going to go to Montreal. We're going to go to Halifax instead.
Mm.
And it's still going to cost less.
I
We're
don't
gonna go places in Canada instead. Spend our money in Canada. Many people here in Canada are trying to buy Canadian, and this has a lot to do with the tournament because the amount of Canadian pride that was happening and U.S. I was about to say nationalism, but
You can say pride, if
pride.
you want. There we go.
Yeah,
There we go.
pride.
There we go.
Was happening at the same time. Unfortunately, to the Finnish team and the Swedish team, it was like they weren't even in the tournament.
No, it was a 2-team tournament. Let's be serious.
That was that's very
I said
true.
this to someone else. You could have had better ratings if you did a 7-game series just between Canada and US.
Oh, definitely.
It would have been unbelievable because those 2 games were some of the best hockey I have seen in years. I put out a tweet after, and I was just like, I put the Ben Affleck like with the cigarette, just like,
Yeah,
oh
that
my
was-
god, and just put like NHL PR realizing the first game back is the Edmonton Oilers versus the Philadelphia Flyers for a matinee game. It's like,
Yep.
oh, it was a great hockey game. Kudos to Team USA. They are one heck of a hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
I think, as we always say with the Boston Bruins, Team USA poked the bear in game 1 on a couple of ways. A lot of smack talking after the game about their little chat group and all that, and saying they meant to do it and they planned to get all these fights. I love Marchand's line after. He was pretty much saying they opened their mouths, they just ran their mouths, and it just didn't work out for them. And it's true.
Mhm.
They went out guns a-blazing in that game on the Thursday night, on the Saturday night, which was an unbelievable game to watch.
Yep.
Unbelievable. 10.3 million people in North America watched that hockey game,
Yep.
which is crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It was the highest rated sporting event besides the Super Bowl this year in the United States.
Yep.
So I think they did a great job. I love the fact that it went to overtime. I'm not going to lie. I love the fact that Canada won. And I also love the fact that Connor McDavid scored the game winner. The last time we did this was Sidney Crosby scoring the game winner. Before
Mhm.
that
In
was
Vancouver.
Mara Lemieux in the overtime games against the US.
Yep.
Before that, Mara Lemieux scored the game winner. It's always one of the best.
The guy, yeah.
Yeah.
Big guy.
It was very interesting. I would love to hear your thoughts from the different perspective. But for a day in Canada, it was like it was a holiday here. Everybody was still texting each other. I've never had so many people text me about a hockey game that weren't hockey fans.
Interesting.
It was huge. Suck it, USA. Continue.
Waba, go ahead.
Yes. So, I mean, you're right. It's funny. I almost made a meme. I would have actually until Finland decided to play 2 minutes of that Canada game. It's like, like the two basically big brothers, and they would have been like sitting there as like little kids, like watching, because yeah, it was basically about those two countries. I think few things. I think injuries definitely played a part, but Makar was injured in the first game, and injuries just happen. So when people tried to lean on that, it's like, okay, these are the best of the best. Even still, your star, U.S. stars didn't really show up. A lot of the production was coming from not the top guys at the U.S. I will say, other takeaways. When they won, I wasn't even disappointed after the last goal. I'm like, oh, that stinks. But at the end of the day, man, this was a good event. I've never had that. I still hate Binnington though. F that guy. And I say that with Bruins history. So I'm not happy to see him win anything ever.
It was hard to cheer for him. I'm not gonna lie.
But the same thing. I mean, you had Habs fans cheering for March, so we're all just conflicted. I was rooting for Matthews. It's whatever.
I didn't really look at the team they were playing for. I honestly, once they put on that maple leaf on their jersey, it's on.
Yeah,
Sam Bennett, I love that guy now.
Oh God, and people booed Bennett. People booed Bennett and Binnington, and it is cool to be able to say I got to see the winning team play, before the victory. So that was kind of a cool memory for me and my daughter. And my biggest takeaway is I like Brady Tkachuk and I want him on the Bruins. That dude
It's a good takeaway.
is tough. I think he is the good kind of skill and grit.
TFF.
He is a top 6.
He's never
guy
coming to the
with
Boston
grit.
Bruins. Continue.
And he will likely go
He'll
to
never leave Ottawa.
no. But I remember I see like tweets, people being like, "Hey, after this game, at Logan Airport, do not let Brady Tkachuk get on that plane. We want to like make sure he stays grounded until Sweeney can offer him someone." But
I've already seen
it's
rumors
fun.
that he's going to be a Panther, but I was just like, oh my god, people.
Yeah, play with it. Watch it. I do think it's cool when brothers get to play each other, especially on something like this. I'm excited to see it also in the Olympics next year. That's got me really excited. And you're going to have more countries who probably deserve to be in this one too. I think 4 is too short, but for a trial run, I mean, the next one's probably going to be like 6, 8, something like
Well,
that.
we're going to actually have an All-Star game after the year after the Olympics, and in New York Islanders are hosting it, and it's very interesting. Elliot Friedman said something on 32 Thoughts that I was like, this is really smart. I debated doing a video about it because I was like, I really like this idea. Instead of doing an All-Star game, because let's be honest, no one cares about the game.
No.
An All-Star game is poop. Do the skills competition. Sure, do the skills competition. And then the next day, do like it for that day and the next day, have like a fan fest for 2 days. And then the day of the All-Star game, which would be the All-Star game, the players all go to that fan fest and they do meet and greets and sign autographs for a couple hours. That's it. But while you're there, there's all this stuff like, everything to do with the NHL is there. They could probably do hockey card shows, all that kind of stuff. Having like lessons, put a rink in there, like a fake rink that the kids can like skate on, all that kind of stuff. Do it up like that. That's what you should be doing because no one cares about the game.
No.
One, you could even do a charity where some of the proceeds go to like local children, kids hockey in the neighborhood of wherever the team that's hosting it. But people love the skills comp. Skills comp's great. It's the game itself that no one cares about.
Right.
So I thought that wasn't a bad. I thought one, Waba would probably like it because it's a money thing. You can make money doing that. And I just thought that was a pretty decent idea that like, because they're going to be doing the World Cup of Hockey, but they won't be doing it every year. We're going to get the Olympics every other year. But when they do choose a year to do the All-Star game, they could do this instead of, because the players don't want to play in the damn game anyways.
No.
They'll just go to get contract money.
And you do every team does their own skills competition, and whoever wins the skills competition, they're the ones that go compete in the skills competition.
I think
and then
they should
have
add
whoever
fighting.
gets voted to the All-Star game. Yeah, you can't do that. Players get hurt. They're not going to do that for an All-Star game. There's nothing on the line. You're not going to fight. You could add it.
Add it to the skills competition. So here's what you do. You get one of those machines that you find at bars. We have to hit the punching bag really hard. And now you have players who are the bottom 6 grinders going to the All-Star game to do a fighting skills competition.
Yeah, I get sure. But you're promoting violence, and the NHL is never going to do that. But even though they want to,
it's a strength competition.
Sure. But I just think if you did the skills comp and you do have one skilled person from each, representing each team. Geez, that bottle is extremely loud into the mic.
It's because there's ice in it because I leave it outside.
As someone who listens to, please stop touching it. The people that are listening to this right now are losing their minds.
Hey, also shout out Wellesley Farms.
God.
I'm not editing this out. In fact, I think that this just might be the whole episode.
ASMR fiends in chat going wild.
But then the fans get to vote, the 2 lines, and those are the people that go and do the autograph signings the next day.
There you go. John Scott's everywhere.
And then guess what? Ovechkin wouldn't say I'm sick and not go like he does every year. And you get everybody. You get participation. Pez, what were your thoughts on the 4 nations as Canada beat the United States?
I loved it. It was great. It was a great tournament. Really, really enjoyed it. Had fun. The finale was incredible, immaculate, awe-inspiring. Probably one of the best hockey games I've seen in, I would say, 2 years maybe. Like really, really, really good, well-balanced, well-played hockey, and I really enjoyed it. Do
you think it'll grow the game?
No, I don't, and I'll tell you why. My belief is hockey is too much of a niche sport in a couple ways. In that one, most of the places that play it is cold. And then 2, there is a large expense to playing hockey. And that deters. I think that deters a lot of people than anything else. Is the cost to get in, and that doesn't even count like goalie equipment, in which you're looking at like even more money. I also don't know. I don't think it's an easy game to watch, like to pick up, like let's say soccer. Like if you're watching soccer, you're like, oh, they kick it there. Basketball, oh, they just shoot it over there. I think hockey.
Don't talk about basketball. Worst ratings in all the the 4 sports.
Hockey, I don't think is easily digestible by folks who don't understand it. And I think it can be a complicated game to try to teach people. So I don't know if it'll grow the game. I think people may be more apt to maybe check out a Bruins game than they were before, but I don't think you'll get a ton of diehards out of it.
Fair.
My biggest worry with all of this is that the NHL somehow winter classics it. Okay. And what I mean by that is when the Winter Classic first started, that Penguins Buffalo game, that what was it, Calgary and Montreal game, unique. It was something we've never seen. Fast forward, what was that, 2000 maybe 8-ish? Fast forward, 17, 20 years or whatever. We get a Winter Classic game and like 3 outdoor games. And it's like that mystique behind it has lost its luster. It's like, oh, it's just another outdoor game. Like, oh, it's another outdoor game in Boston. Okay, we've been to Fenway and we've been to Foxborough. So like, where are we gonna put the next one? It's just like, oh yeah, it's an outdoor game.
Boston Common.
It's a Blackhawks outdoor game. Let's go to Notre Dame. Like, I don't know. My worry is they somehow, because the NHL initially didn't even want to do it. The owners were super against it. Because they lost out on 2 weeks of profit. There were no gates other than Montreal and Boston. And the whole injury thing. So they didn't even want to do it. That kind of got, the PA basically fought against it. Shout out Marty Walsh, good old Boston boy. The PA fought against it, and owners allowed it to happen. And somehow they're going to NHL all over this thing. And it's gonna lose its luster as something important. But I loved it. I thought it was great, and I think next year, I think you do I don't know if you would call it Six
No, there's
Nations.
nothing. Just you have the Olympics next year.
In 2 years, you do.
So 2 years is the All-Star game, and then they're doing in 3 years is the World Cup.
Gotcha. Good. I like it. I like that then. Because again, it keeps it fresh. Hate the idea of an all-star game, but what are you going to do? They're going to do it so they can print jerseys and t-shirts and
I hate the all-star game.
I hate it.
Well, think of the jerseys last time, the ones that were yellow.
Were those the mac and cheese looking ones?
The Bieber ones.
The jerseys weren't good. Like the Four Nations jerseys were sick. If they weren't so expensive, I would have bought one. But like the designs for all the teams were excellent.
I wasn't buying a jersey for a tournament that's never going to happen again.
I think they look really cool. Well, I was waiting for them to go on sale, and they didn't in the U.S.
No,
so.
They will.
They will.
I would love to get a Marchand Canada one.
Yeah, you don't want a loser jersey. You want a winner jersey.
The loser jerseys are going where the Chiefs 3-peat shirts went.
Oh, where they selling Finland jerseys. Oh, take that, Finland.
If Finland won a game.
Hey, before I know we're up against it.
Oh, did you what did you think of the point system? How if you won in regulation, you got 3 points. If you won in overtime, it was 2 points. And if you lost in overtime, it was 1 point.
It avoided a tie.
I really liked it.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I hope the NHL adopts it. They were testing it out. I think that's great. Because I'm tired of seeing teams fight for the tie and not go for the win.
Right. Yeah. I like it. Before we go, I want to ask, is there and I know Court, if you don't have or if you have inside information, you don't need to leak it here at 3 Dads on a Console on YouTube. Does Brad Marchand get traded?
No.
Baba?
Oh, I don't think he wants to, right?
That was my question.
Does he?
My question is, does he?
If he wants to?
Hold on.
Yes.
This season, right? That's what you're saying?
this season.
He does not.
Yes,
So
I know
he-
he
yeah.
does not. If you're Don Sweeney, A, would you trade him? And B, if you would, what is the minimum you would take to trade him?
If I was the GM of the Boston Bruins, I would not trade him. But if I was trading him, like just say I have no choice and I'm trading him, he's a first and he's a Rick Nash. So you're getting a first round pick. You're getting a top prospect, like a they got Lindgren at the time, which was a very top prospect in the Boston Bruins organization on the back end. So you're gonna want something in the projected top 6 forward, because that's what Boston needs. They don't need defensemen. So you get a first round pick, a projected top 6 forward, and some whatever contract that team wants to pawn off on you.
Dump, yeah.
That's what you're getting.
Yeah. I would do the exact same thing. And I actually would lean to trade him. If that's the assets you get back, I would lean to trade him because the Boston Bruins are going to be in a rebuild and they need as many assets as possible.
But you're not going to let a good GM that you're probably going to fire make that deal.
Right. That's the other thing is like, now do you think they'll fire Don Sweeney after this?
I think they'll fire Cam and then the new president will come in. I don't think they're going to fire him, which is, I don't think they're going to, but they should. They should fire Cam Neely, and then whoever comes in fires their GM if they want to.
Yeah.
I think Don Sweeney is a good GM. I think the fan base is talking at their bums all the time when they say that the Bruins don't draft well. They actually do. It's just they don't get first round picks, so we don't have any top 6 forwards. It's just that's the way it is. But if you actually look at the amount of games played, they actually do very well. They actually get more games played, even though some of those players aren't on the Bruins. But, there are some very good players, Dan Heinen, Frank Vetrano. These guys are out there in the NHL playing right now. But
the problem is
there's
no impact.
It's time.
Impact
it's time.
Draft picks.
It's time for a new regime in Boston.
Yeah, I mean, this one's been going on for how long?
And Sacco doesn't come back. If I'm the owner, I fire Cam Neely. Is the first thing I do. I do it publicly because he deserves it. And
right out front of the garden.
I'd be like, I got 69 million reasons why. I got 69 million reasons why you're no longer hired by the Boston Bruins. And then I would
nice.
I would probably hire Sean Thornton. He's worked in the Florida Panthers organization in the front office for years.
Yep.
He's learned the marketing side of the game. He's learned so many different sides of the game. I hire him and I let him make the decisions.
I love.
They already brought in Chara, so you've already got somebody who's already brought in that's working in the front office. He's not going anywhere. And I would ask specific players if they've made their decisions on what they want to do, because they said they were going to wait a bit and see if that one player wants to go coach in Providence for a bit to get his sea legs, because you don't just bring them up right away. Because Martin St. Louis, I like it. He's all right in Montreal, but I just think it was too
early.
Bit weird. But yeah, I know the way the Bruins work. They're going to hire former players. That's just what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So fire Cam because he deserves to go. The game has passed him by. Hire Sean Thornton. The game has not passed him by. Still has his roots in Boston. Still has all his charities in Boston. Still here in Boston. Hire Sean Thornton and let him make all the decisions on who his GM is going to be and go from there. That's how you do it.
I mean,
that's just my thoughts.
Sounds good to me. Baba.
I like it.
But Trent Frederick is gone. Sell. He's gone.
So let me. Yeah, he's going to St. Louis.
He's got a lower body injury right now. If he does not come back before the trade deadline, the Bruins can't trade him. But I don't know if you guys saw, Don Sweeney did a press conference the other day on Sunday. He is not signing Trent Frederick, and he said it. He didn't say Trent Frederick's name. He said, none of my UFAs besides Brad Marchand will I be signing. None. So that's Justin Brazeau, gone. Cole Koepke, gone. What do you mean, what?
I like Brazeau.
You like a guy that doesn't play?
He's 6'7".
He has a big. He's 6'7", and he doesn't. Waba. He doesn't even. He's not even a good net front presence. He's a pussycat in the corner, and he spends more time falling on the ice than skating on it.
Yeah, he's relatable to me. What do you think I would do?
And then you've got Trent Frederick, who everybody's like, "Oh my God, he punches people in the face." He is more of a chicken out on the ice than anything else. Doesn't use his body to his advantage. Can't score goals. Is not tough to play against. But every now and then, when the refs grab somebody else, he tries to punch the guy in the face.
Love it.
And then says, "Let's get in a fight." Trent Frederick, see you later.
Good
Barely
shirt.
knew ya.
Never knew
Right.
ya.
Yeah, they'll get probably a second round pick for Frederick. They'll probably get a third round pick for Brazeau. He'll probably go to Edmonton. More teams will be in on Brazeau than they will be on Frederick just because of his cap hit.
Yeah.
And then they can't move Parker Witherspoon anymore because they got too many injuries on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've got to make the decision on Morgan Geekie. Do you sell high? Or do you re-sign him and pay that $5 million a year for a guy that probably won't do this again?
Right.
That's crazy.
Because he's a pasta merchant. Because David Pastrnak is 7th in points in the league, 6th in goals in the league. And to the fans that think pasta sucks, you suck.
You suck. You suck.
I'm
bud.
gonna have a tough
suck, bud.
week. When's the trade deadline? 2
March
weeks,
7th.
1 week? Oh god, it's next week. I'm gonna have a
June-
tough week
June
next
8th.
week. I'm gonna be in shambles this
March
time
7th.
next week because things will have
March
happened.
7th.
I said
Yeah.
that.
It's the 26th, so this time next
You
week.
weren't even listening when I talk.
No,
Yeah, this time next week, people will be
Oh, it's
gone.
this time
They
next
will
week.
have exited.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's why
I was
we
a bit
got.
behind.
You know why we got no news on Frederick today? Because they want to be sure before they
Because-
say. Because they need him back in the lineup before they trade him. And Don Sweeney looks like a fool by not trading him. Because I can tell you this right now: the New Jersey Devils, the Edmonton Oilers, called on Trent Frederick and made substantial offers.
You turn him down.
Beans.
He's being Don the dumb Sweeney.
No more
Maybe that's
Teflon
why.
Don for this guy.
I like it. Any final thoughts for the folks before we say goodbye for the week?
I can't wait for Assassin's Creed Shadows and MLB The Show.
Oh, Pez, what about you?
If anyone needs me after Friday, you don't. I will be dooting and scooting and looting in Monster Hunter Wilds.
You don't. Metaphor ReFantasio is a masterpiece, and I'm almost done with the game. So, shout
Play
out
Spider-Man,
Atlas.
you chicken.
Is it?
Do
do you have
it's
the
amazing.
physical version or the? Digital?
I have the very physical version.
Okay.
This game is amazing. It's if you like Atlas,
You, what's wrong with the world?
terrific.
Atlas.
Folks, if you had fun, please make sure to follow us at youtube.com/that's in a console. You can watch us live at 8 p.m. ish every single Wednesday, and you can check out some of our amazing articles at 3dadsconsole.com. Also, you can Venmo. No, I'm kidding. We'll see.
Imagine just slipping a
Best pinning
Venmo
for-
in That'd be awesome.
You know that Venmo is not
Like,
available in
shocked for a
Canada?
second. It isn't.
Really? Okay,
No.
you can PayPal us at.
You can sell us. Send us a MoneyGram at. But no, thank you very much for your time and attention. Don't Venmo us.
Yeah, send
But,
us Google Play cards instead.
Okay, can I have someone sending me cash in the mail for an order? I will let you know how that goes. This time next week, I'll have the money or I won't.
Amazing.
But we'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.